Well, what it means to me is that I made the right choice. The teaching here at UTA is a second career for me, and I made the decision to leave a job in industry and come here and start teaching. I've always wanted to teach. I mean, even when I was, starting my, getting my degree, but I never got the opportunity to because I went on to work in industry. So coming here in 2018 and then receiving this award really for me is a validation that I made the right choice. I teach the beginning programming classes. I teach CSE 1310, which is Introduction to Programming, CSE 1320, which is Intermediate Programming, and then CSE 1325, which is our Object-Oriented Programming. And then for the summers, for some reason during the summers, I teach the Algorithms class. So really, my focus is on the beginning classes, getting you started in your CS, and hopefully giving you a good foundation in programming. They should get, like I just mentioned, the ability to learn. Okay, the more you're exposed to different aspects of different languages, the easier it is for you to adapt to a new language. Because again, my goal here as a professor is not to teach you a particular language, is to teach you like what a for loop does, what a while loop does. And you'll figure it out in whatever language you move to. I mean, you go out there and get an internship, you go out there and get a job, it may be in a language you've never heard of. My first job was in a language in a platform that I'd never heard of. So we're here to teach you how to learn, not a particular language. I do a tutorial, an 8-hour tutorial on Python. And in that tutorial, I teach you enough to get started in Python, but it's also more of, well, here's how you do a for loop in Python. I assume you already know how one works because you've studied it in another language. So it's, again, our programming classes aren't necessarily to teach you a language, it's to teach you how to learn so that when you do go out and get that internship or that job, they can look at your transcript and your resume and say, okay, this person's had exposure to these different things. We can give them something new that they've never seen, and they'll know how to learn from it. And they'll learn to adapt, learn to use it, and be successful for us. That's what I want the students coming out of our program to be able to do, is just to have enough experience to be able to go into a new environment and understand it. Because we cannot train you for every possibility that may happen, but we can give you the tools to learn how to adapt to a new situation. Well, the first steps would be to, get your computer science degree along, it's just like you would do a math education degree. Okay, if you're a math education, you take all those math classes and the education classes to learn how to teach in a classroom. So computer science, of course, you would learn all that and take your education classes. But we really, truly need more people to teach computer science, especially at like the high school level. I sincerely believe that there's going to become a point where, at least starting maybe at the college level, where computer science, at least an introduction to programming class like our CSE 1310, will become a standard part of the curriculum. Just like if you come into any program, you have to take a certain amount of English, you have to take a certain amount of math, a certain amount of science. I sincerely believe that computer science will move into the realm of this is part of your core process at any university. And we are going to need more people to teach that when that comes. Right? We need to start sooner with the computer science education. So it needs to start, even in elementary schools. I mean, you can start it there, but it's probably going to come first to the university system, where it becomes part of the core in the university system. And then it'll start becoming part of the core in the high school. And not so much, the optional classes. Well, yeah, if you want to go that way, you can take that class. It's going to become taking like a math, science, and English class. having the experience of a student who gets it. When you are explaining something, when you're showing something, when you're doing something, when a student has that aha moment, I mean, you can see the light bulb go on, that makes it worth it. Just to have them go, man, I get it. I get it. Oh, I get it. Because sometimes that's a struggle. Sometimes it's not. But that moment when they understand it and you know that they're going to continue to understand it and it will always be there for them, that's a great moment. And the second to that is when former students come visit me and say, yeah, you were right. The stuff you taught me, I actually did need. So that's always a good moment that it's like, oh, okay. So that was a good thing that I taught you how to do debugging because you did actually need it later.